Well, howdy neighbors, T3 here in my temporary domicile. Much thanks to my good friend Evan letting me crash here until I can truly get on the road and start collecting more stories about my father for the documentary and to become a better educator myself. That's one thing I've learned in my 16 years out and about wandering this country teaching is, I'm able to learn from other people's stories of their interactions with my father. So it's been really fantastic. I'm coming to you with this special video because this week I am going to be offering off something that is truly special. So this is a dot matrix printout. Now, I remember my dad writing on his old K-Pro computer, the keyboard folded up into the monitor, had a green screen, and you had those printers with all the holes on the side. And I just remember that thing endlessly going off as he was printing out his manuscripts. And I just so happened to have uh, original draft, not even sent into the publisher, of the chapter about lawns in, I believe it is the field guide to nature observation and awareness. And I'm making this video because, this is one of the more, I deem, important pieces of, history that I'm willing to part with. And, these are words directly from my father's brain before, the publisher got a hold of them. So tonight I wanted to do something a little special, and I'm going to keep continuing that tradition. And what I'm going to do is, starting tomorrow night, every night I'm going to read a chapter of his books and post it on my YouTube. I'm going to start, of course, with the tracker, and I'm going to be reading from the number one first edition hardcover that my father dedicated to my mother on the inside with a very nice handwritten thing. So obviously that I'll never part ways with. But yeah, this is truly a piece of history. And I read a little bit of this the other day during his 75th anniversary party, but I wanted to go a little deeper. Lawns. The first rays of morning sun dance across the lawns, causing them to glitter like some greenish glass that appears semi-transparent. Droplets of dew sparkle and dance with fiery rainbows, and small bejeweled spider webs look carelessly tossed across blades like tiny hammocks. There is no apparent movement in the grass, for the tiny inhabitants are still chilled by last night's cold. A robin alights momentarily on a shady lawn, then hops across to a sun splash. There, on a warm puddle of light, he pauses, cocking his head as if it were to listen or get a better view of the ground. Instinct tells him that the first insects or worms will appear from this area as the sun stirs their inner fires and their cold blood warms to movement. Except for the robin, all seems frozen in time, dew and sunshine. The robin takes a few quick jumps forward, pauses for an instant, and then pecks at the ground. There is a slight movement in the grass, and the robin pecks again, this time pulling a struggling worm from the earth. A quick few bounces, and the robin is airborne, heading back to its nest, probably to feed its young. A good tracker knows that if a robin eats a worm there on the ground, there's probably no young. However, flying off with the worm firmly grasped in the beak means the young ones are somewhere nearby feeding. At this point, I watch the flight of the robin, which I will usually head straight back to the nest unless it suspects a predator is about. By following the line of flight from a hidden position and repeatedly watching the robin collecting and feeding, the nest can easily be located and studied. At this time, I can either go back to the lawn for more study or get involved in the robin's activities. If I choose to stay with the robin for a while, I will make it a project that will last several days. For a long time, I will watch the robin feeding her young from a distance. I do not want to alarm the mother, nor interfere with her feeding schedule, but little by little, I will move closer to the nest. This could take quite some time and a lot of patience, but it is well worth the effort. If the procedure moves into the second day, I will repeat the first day's efforts only a little bit more quickly. With patience and showing no threat to the robin, I will soon be accepted as part of the landscape, and the robin will go about its business as if I were never there. I have had many intimate relationships with robins initiated in this manner. On many occasions I have dug worms and fed the babies, apparently with the parent bird's approval. Sometimes the parent actually seems relieved that someone else is helping with the task of feeding. One particular family of robins became my closest friends due to a good deed I did while feeding the babies. A snake was on its way to the nest when I first arrived in the morning, and the parent robins were frantically screaming. I quickly came to the rescue and removed the snake, releasing far from the area. I know it's not good to interfere with nature's plan, but these robins were like my children, and my honor was at stake. Ironically, a few days after I removed the snake, the mother robin began frantically pecking on my bedroom window early one morning. I ran from the house, following her to her nest, where I found another snake on its way up the lower branches. Again, I intervened and removed the snake. Over the next few weeks, the parent robin and I became close friends. She would wait patiently on my shoulder until I finished feeding the babies, and swoop down and lend a hand when I had finished. When I dug worms, she would be waiting right beside me, plucking out some worms I would have otherwise missed. The summer quickly passed, and we remained friends through it all, and I even helped her young learn to fly. It was like raising my own kids, and I was proud of all of them. Ironically, the next spring came, a tapping at my window, and there was my robin friend and her mate. They were in the process of building another nest, and I would watch for hours the whole process. Of course, I would help by gathering twigs and grass stalks. I like to give my beard hair personally, which they readily accepted, but they did not like the way I weaved the sticks into the nest. Every time I placed a stick, it was rearranged, and despite my poor nest building skills, the nest was finally completed. Eggs laid, and I was uncle again for another season. So there's, with this particular piece, I only read the first few pages. It is a total of 14 pages, and I will scan quite a few of them up and put them up with the auction. But yeah, this is a definite treasure here. And for those of you who have won thus far, here are your packages tomorrow, first thing. Once again, I apologize for the delay, but the event that I held for my father's birthday was kind of all encompassing last week. And I have this newfound sense of, yes, moving forward. And I really wanted to capitalize on that and make sure that event went off really well. So, once again, it means a lot to me that you be patient. But yeah, these will definitely be going out tomorrow. I will give you all your tracking numbers. And you will see tomorrow also a new set of drawings and a few other things like this one right here. So stay tuned. I will be making announcements on social media, and always take a look at the website. In fact, I am opening up a new page on there that is the recordings of the free live sessions I do. So I think I've got the first one up of the one I did for my dad's birthday, and I have 3 or 4 others that I will be uploading in the near future. So until then, peace and love, joy and purpose. I believe I have a free event coming up on the 8th, somewhere around there. So keep an eye out for that. And remember, when you go through my website checkout process, you have to go through the whole thing. Even for free events, you have to hit the shopping cart so that it generates a Zoom link. And even though I haven't put my public schedule up yet, I am doing private classes for individuals now. So if it's something you might like to pursue, feel free to schedule a half-hour introductory session so I can hear what you may want to learn and see if I can accommodate you. And that's where the process starts. So yeah, I look forward to this new project where I'm going to try to read a chapter of one of my dad's books every night. I'm going to start sequentially. And there is even talks of me reading the audiobooks of the tracker and the search and the vision and all the good ones. Field guides wouldn't really go well in audiobook format. But that's all I got for now. Auctions begin tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. and Fridays, and all the directions are clearly laid out on the Own a Piece of Tracker history page. So thank you for helping to support me and get me out of my financial quagmire, and also be able to give back to my roots, because I want to see that place, the primitive camp and the tracker school, continue to thrive into the future. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, because it's a way that I can help myself, but also give back. And that means the world to me, because people have given me so much recently. So thank you all again. Peace, love, joy, and purpose to you all.